Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Well, is it right to name public infrastructure after a sitting president? Now, that's the question that we are asking today. As we open the phone lines to, a thought-provoking question that is on people's minds. Some see it as a way to honor leadership in a real time, while others believe it should be left to public judgment. Within just 2 years, 7 major projects have already been named after Nigeria's current president. Is this a sign of respect or legacy, obsession, or a premature move that should be left for history to decide? Now, what do you think? Is it right, for buildings to be revamped and named after the presiding president at this point? I felt, if honors are going to be given, a lot of times, they are being given to people that have actually done a lot. Lots of times when buildings, roads are being named, usually are people that have passed away, and they want to continue with their legacy, so they name it after the people that have died. Well, when this happened, a lot of people criticized Wike for naming the ICC over at Tinubu's name, renaming it on Tinubu's name, and then also people, activists like VDM, Fahmy also, a lot of people came out to actually criticize that is not needed. Is why?
It's
why
too
should
much,
why?
Fatima.
Yeah, it's a public infrastructure.
The naming is too much. The current president has 7 infrastructures already.
I mean, even the
named after him.
Airport.
What's happening? The former president, Goodluck Jonathan, didn't name anything after himself.
Even Buhari didn't.
After he left, that he named this road.
Yeah.
From CBN to down to AYA, this road that leads to Nyanya, Goodluck Jonathan Bridge, I think.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can hear of.
That's exactly what I'm
after
saying.
He left the presidency, before they started naming.
The ICC,
what's the obsession?
The ICC was built by IBB.
Yes, he didn't name it after himself.
He didn't name it after himself. And then Wike actually used that. He said Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport was not built by Nnamdi Azikiwe, but his name was his name that was given to the airport. He was trying to justify the reason for naming all these buildings and the airports, Tinubu barracks, and what have you. I mean, it's just a lot, and I don't think it's what Nigerians need at this point. Well, do well to call us and join this conversation. If you can't, join us through WhatsApp messages on the first number that is showing on your screen. And as you call, please stay away from your TV so that we can have a conversation with you. What do you think? Do you think it is right for the naming of the infrastructures, buildings in Nigeria, especially after the sitting president? So, but what do you think at this point?
That's what I was trying to
too much.
I feel like this kind of things are very fragile. You don't want to say so much, but one thing I'm very sure about is it is legacy obsession, just like you mentioned.
Yeah, okay, let's take this call and hear from the person. Hello, good morning.
Fatima, good morning.
Mr. Basekon, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Your co-presenter, I don't know her name.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for calling this morning.
All right.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm heading towards that. Based on what the topic is today, is it right to name public infrastructure after the president?
Yes,
the president is doing well. It's right, it's good. And I remember the last regime, they named several things while he was still in governance. But the fact remains that life itself is politics. Everything has been politicized. It's politics. That is why you see things going like that. If not, it's not right. It is after the man must have left before they start naming infrastructure after him. but such is life. I also want to add here that your life can preach a better sermon of who you really are. Our life, does it preach our character? Does it preach our policy? And that is why, through integrity, through policy, through probity and sincerity, you actually know who is the right person or what the person is doing right. We must have high moral standards in everything we are doing. Once we don't have that, we are heading to hellfire. Yes, you are the reflection of the society. What do I mean by that? Like Patty and your co-presenter.
Yeah.
The Trust TV I'm watching, I'm talking to, you are the people I'm seeing. If you laugh mechanically or mechanically, I'll be seeing you as Trust TV. Whatever you are doing there now represents Trust TV.
Yeah.
So that is what we really lack in Nigeria. If somebody is caught of drugs, they will not call his name. They will say Nigeria has been caught at Saudi Arabia carrying drugs. So that is what we need to really specify our populace, Nigeria, for us to really dig into this aspect and make sure that people's public awareness is being arose, so that people will know that yes, these are the things that are on ground. But that is not happening. It is only in Trust TV I've seen public enlightenment. People advertise their products without being paid, eggs, carpenters. I really appreciate Trust TV. So I also want to talk about accountability. It is because our presidents, once they leave office, they are not doing, they don't account for what they are doing. If they are meant to account for their stewardship, my sister, there will be no corruption. Like a sitting president, once he leaves, they'll ask him to come and account for what he or she has done. Look at South Korea. A president was removed, and he had to give account of his stewardship. Until we start doing this, there is problem. Thank you this morning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abasekon, for your contributions. You know, definitely, we would definitely have people that would say it is okay, like Mr. Abasekon just said, if the president is doing good,
yeah.
so it's okay to name. But should it be up to 7 projects that should be named after him? That's the major thing, because they are already named. And the names are being changed.
We don't know if there will be more.
Exactly.
It's just 2 years, I mean.
2 years. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Fatima.
Good morning, Fatima.
I was really expecting his call.
Yeah.
This is Fatima calling from Maiduguri.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead. What's your take?
Honestly speaking, about say my elder brother have said everything. But I will keep to a small contribution. You see, honestly speaking, this is the level of corruption that was in Nigeria. Corruption does not mean that if you take something out of the government account, do something in order to please your boss, is also a corruption. How can we name a project as a city president? It's not honestly speaking. Naming an infrastructure after somebody is to show the appreciation of what he did after he left office.
Yeah.
That is the tradition. Everywhere in the world. You cannot name a infrastructure after a city president. I can remember here in Maiduguri there was a one project that was raised in the one institution. And they named it after Professor Zulu. He passed an instruction that name should be changed. This is the leadership that we want to see. If your subordinate staff, if your boy do wrong, you tell him that he's wrong. Not for you to keep quiet. So by keeping quiet and showing appreciation is a part of corruption too. So we don't know which direction this government is taking. How can you allow somebody to be running project after you while you are a sitting president? It is not happened anywhere. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's unacceptable. It will only be appreciated under a highly corrupt government, and which we are seeing now. So it's not honestly speaking. What I can say is only that may Allah sacrifice our country. May Allah bring us the right business. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Fatima,
much
for your contribution this morning. I mean, so you can see how this has changed now. On the second side, it's okay if the president or whoever is named after is doing well. And then Fatima is also saying it's wrong, because definitely a lot of people criticize the fact that it's wrong. So hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and location, please.
Yes, my name is Daniel, calling from Jalingo.
Daniel, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Go ahead. What's your take?
First of all, the name of your co-presenter, let me know so that...
My name is Maryam.
I am Maryam, Mr. Daniel.
is Maryam.
It's okay, Maryam.
Yeah,
She
thank
mentioned
you.
it earlier.
I mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
My take here is that most of these names they are giving now at this is mostly political, so that they can gain ground in the system where they are operating from. Whether the person is in government is doing well or is not doing well, they will be naming project after the incumbent or the person that put you in seat. For example, in my state here, the sitting governor, Dr. Abu Kefas, was naming almost all the buildings after General Tiwa Danjumas. So if you look at it, there's no doubt many people said he was the one that brought him. I don't know whether he's paying him back with naming of buildings and projects with his name. I don't know. There are other people that contributed a lot to this country that their names have not been put in on buildings or infrastructure. In fact, there are some people that I used to call them, there are some heroes that today we tag them names. I didn't know that they succeeded in their operation, such as coup. Today we will have been celebrating them as heroes because they didn't succeed. So today we look at them as people that have done bad to the country. So most of these buildings, you look at all this infrastructure, you see people are naming it's a political game, nothing more than that.
Yeah.
Nothing more than that. You will see a sitting House of Assembly member, a one-term sitting assembly, once he comes in on board, in the next 2-3 days, you see a government street start with his name, Honorable so and so street. So those things are for political gain, so they are not more relevant again to me. So they should continue doing it. If they like, they should name even our 36 states after their names. It's simple as this is Nigeria where anything can be done. That is my take, please. But there is need for us to stop doing that kind of a thing. It's not really meaningful to us as a nation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for your contribution this morning as well. I mean, it just doesn't sit well,
Of course,
I feel
it's very strict.
At least if it was just one building that was named after him, I could say, okay, yeah, it's fine. Even in Lagos, there are other buildings that is named after Bola Ahmed Tinubu at this point. So aside from that, I wanted to say something also. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good
Your
morning.
name and location, please.
Good morning.
Fatima and Maryam.
Fatima, Maryam, how are you?
You want to say daybreak?
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just Abakar calling you from Gwagwalada.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Concerning the question you are asking, whether it is right to name public infrastructure after a sitting president, it is the public opinion, history, and service to a father's land that will honor a sitting president. You should let public judgment to honor you, not to ascribe honor and glory to yourself. Like a city of Abuja, it was laid by our founding fathers, and there are past head of state, military and civilian presidents who have made huge contribution in raising the status of Abuja to where we are today. If you among those who contributed hugely to infrastructure development of Abuja was the former military president Ibrahim Babangida, who committed so much. He built about 40% of infrastructure development of Abuja. Should Abuja city be named IBB instead of Abuja? So it is the history and the people judgment that will honor a president, not a sitting president and his crony be naming public infrastructure. It is not dishonorable. That is why I cherish one of the Catholic global practices. Whenever a sitting Pope was crowned or was nominated, he will not even adopt his own name. He will adopt a name of essentially a person or past Pope of more than 100 years ahead of him. So it is better to stop this kind of practices. It's not honorable. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So Fatima, thank you, our caller from Kawagwalada. Somebody was saying, I read it somewhere in a comment, that thank goodness all this infrastructure naming is reversible. You know,
it is actually.
If another president comes in, he can decide to reverse everything and bring the old national anthem and what have you. But I was like, okay, is this how we're going to, like, we're going back and forth? Like, I think these things are very trivial issues. These are not the issues we should be discussing. You understand?
There are more pressing issues.
Exactly.
Than,
so is it that another person comes and he renames the building,
so
another one comes and he does whatever he likes?
About the amount that was spent to renovate it.
Yeah.
Just talk about the renovation alone before even the naming. I mean, this is two rich things going hand in hand. This man is rich, and then this is a rich building.
I feel like it's monumental ego or self-branding. That was what I called it.
Well,
self-branding, of course. So, okay, I renovated this. Of course, my name should be there.
If you go to, all these bloggers and, influencers posting when they're renaming and everything, if you see the kind of insults and comments, I wanted to screenshot some of them and we just take them, but I just felt, it's the president. Talking about it alone is enough than, just, bringing out some cursive words.
That's what I told you. I have to, careful with the words.
I mean, I was just telling you, let me read out this, and we are beginning to have messages. Please do send us messages before we end this segment so we can hear from you. Yesterday we were just talking about it, and someone just roughly sent me this and said, we are not sure about this, but because I'm sure how Nigerians are, they pick something and mimic, or make a joke out of it. Someone went to post this and said, the Federal Republic of Nigeria Ministry of Information and Culture National Heritage Commission Zuma Rock, renamed and dedicated as Bola Ahmed Tinubu Rock. Which I know
they're just exaggerating.
It's sarcasm.
Sarcasm. He's been sarcastic. But that's funny.
Already, since the Niger airport is already named after him, let them just take the Zuma Rock.
They should take everything. Like the one caller said, he should take the 36 states and name it after him or something.
So it's actually funny how people come up with things.
But it's actually annoying at some point, and you don't even know how much more to come, how many more to come, so to say, because this is only 2 years. What will happen in 2 years to come? Well, if he eventually comes back for second term, what's going to happen before 6 years runs out?
Yeah, exactly. That's the question. Just like you said, everything is reversible. So it's just like when his tenure ends, another president comes, they can decide to bring back the national anthem, like you said.
They're going to be confusing our kids.
Well, that's the thing. So I think at this point we need to stay in one place. Exactly. I mean, I grew up.
We need to be focused.
I grew up singing the one that they removed. That's the one that we know.
I still understand. I still don't understand the old one. Of course. As big as you are trying to learn the national anthem.
Because it wasn't our time. It's our parents that know that. Us, we grew up singing to the one that they just removed.
All my life.
So definitely that's what we know. To me, that's our alma mater. That national anthem.
Yeah, of course.
So the amount that was spent, I wish they even went to the states where the flood has actually, catered away with people's properties, lives, to renovate the houses for the victims. Also, even go to the states where bandits have, eaten deeper, places like Borno, Plateau State, Benue, and, other parts of Zamfara and Katsina, a lot of them, to go there, rebuild the classrooms, find ways to, deal with this terrorists, spend the amount of money that they are spending now to deal with these people. Let's have the peace, and then you can do all this.
Invest in agriculture, because the amount of food price hikes is becoming,
food insecurity.
It's really getting bad.
Yeah. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Do we still have the caller?
Yes, Fatima and Maryam, it's me calling back again.
Okay.
Mr. Basekon, thank you for calling back again.
Just like Maryam said, it is reversible. Because when you get to Ikoyi, we used to have body loan and several other names. They were all reversed and given Nigerian names. Sincerely speaking, the trend of things is not good. We should try and do the right thing. This is corruption, as the Fatima rightly said. It is purely corruption. It is not only when you give a bribe that is corruption. Once you do something to buy the heart of somebody, it's corruption. And those people doing this, they should have a rethink. They should have a rethink, and they should change from their myopic reasoning and senses. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Well, even though, we have very limited time, like we said, let's take this WhatsApp message before we wrap this segment. It said, good morning this morning. Good morning to you too. It can be good to name public infrastructure after sitting president or any political appointee, because this can bring concrete competitions between them. As such, the citizens will benefit. In Nigeria, we glorify those in power and perhaps denounce those past in power. To me, it's not a political obsession, but political competition. Well, the fact that at this point, I don't think it's a competition, because it's been named after one person.
Yeah.
If it was named after other politicians, for example, that are doing good,
and he's the president, there's no other president competing with him. Yeah.
Former president Abdusalam Abubakar, for example, Muhammad Yaradua, late Yaradua, a lot of them, we already have the Murtala Muhammad.
Even Musa Yaradua, has anything been renamed after him or named after him?
So who?
Yaradua Center here is not his. It's for sure Yaradua.
There are two
Yaraduas.
So definitely, but that's exactly what I'm saying. People, if we are talking about people that have done good, I wish it was even Yaradua that his name was mentioned in all this.
Nobody would have complained.
But so definitely we have some WhatsApp messages. Let me just read them fast before we go. This one says. Good morning, presenters. My answer to your question is capital no. The president is still in office. No one should praise himself or any of his or her stauch to do so. This is because the stauch is looking for favor. Wike is seeking for favor by renaming the ICC after the president. Secondly, it is not right because he is blindly looking for cheap political points in favor of his second-term campaign. He is beginning to own Nigeria as he pocketed Lagos. At best, public infrastructure should be named after past heroes, leaders, and retired or seasoned civil servants with track records of good values. This is coming from Ayuba from Gombe.
I totally agree, Fatima.
Yeah. And then this one says, Badamasi from Karshi, Abuja. Thank you so much. He said it is...
Okay, he said it's outrightly do that. I think it's just a plan to cover the outrageous amount of the 39 billion spent when the teachers' entitlement for the area councils is 16 billion or thereabout. In his haste for infrastructural development, he neglected the human capital development that's supposed to be in consonant. Infrastructural development should beget human capital development. Achieving one without the other is just like a structure without a function. Meanwhile, if really the government is serious of developing the capital city, then the children of the have-not must not be educated so that they will not be vulnerable to the society. This is what Badamasi from Karshi, Abuja said, Fatima.
I totally agree with what he said, you know. At this point, no comment, no calls that has come through that did not make sense or that didn't make a point.
Because
everyone has made their point, and we agree. We know that it's totally wrong.
It's just black and white, you know. There's no two ways about it. It's very clear.
What happens if Tinubu does not win 2027 elections?
Maybe another person will come reverse all this.
Exactly. So in just 2 years, it could be reverted again.
Exactly.
Well, it's sad to see that we are actually dealing with this instead of dealing with hunger, dealing with
just like the first caller said,
children,
politicizing
dealing
everything.
with corruption, finding ways to make life easy for citizens, and we are dealing with renaming and spending billions on infrastructures and what have you. Well, this is the much that we can take this morning for the phone-ins and the WhatsApp messages that you all have sent. Thank you so much for taking out your time to contribute on the program. Well, at this point, we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we are going to be, having the doctor join us to talk to us about the PCOS. I mean, you would really love to wait and listen to this conversation because you're going to learn one or two things about this. Stay with us after this break.